we are gonna pick up with Praxis. It's been a day or two since the reconvening at the bolt hole. And that is when you and everybody in HR gets an email directly from Mr. Singe, as it were. This is the president, owner of DevaCorp.
Okay.
Email is basically stating that he wants to have a personal meeting with Human Resources to discuss certain situations that are bound to arise in the near future. Email doesn't give any sort of indication of what those issues are. It just gives a date, a time, and the notification that keycards will be updated for the 80th floor. Where's my list of floors? I did still. Oh no.
I'll find them later.
Well, luckily this floor is easy to remember. It's the 80th floor. It's the top floor. The last floor.
Yeah. Do we know what's on there already? Is it just, I'm assuming, just executive management?
Yeah, this isn't really a secret type thing. The floor is just listed as Mr. Singe's office and personal helipads.
How many helicopters does one person need? Yeah, I'll block out the time.
And obviously we're going to say that the meeting is today and, you know, one of those things.
Yeah. So, yeah, as soon as it comes around, I will head up there.
It only takes one elevator ride, thankfully. The HR department's not necessarily that large, where there's countless people that it has to take multiple elevators. You and the rest of your department are able to fit in one elevator.
The entire department, one elevator. Cram them all in.
Patel's just kind of like, all right, team. I don't know what's gonna happen here. We could all be fired. Like, she's white as a sheet, so to speak. Like, I can't think of any time that being called to the main boss's office has ever been a good thing. It's been a pleasure working with all you? Question mark?
Calm down. Nothing has happened yet.
I mean, do you have any better thoughts of what this might be?
We're not going to lay off an entire department, especially one that's necessary.
We've literally done it before. Not too long in the past.
We haven't had many issues. The issues we've had have been resolved, as they should have been.
She gives an uneasy sigh as the elevator ride eventually comes to an end. It dings on the 80th floor. And it opens up into a massive... You can tell that all that's on this floor is this office. Marble flooring, not white marble, but black marble with like the gold inlay. Red carpet rolled up to a very massive desk, kind of almost in the center of the room. It is far too extravagant. It is to a ridiculous level. You can glass on all sides, letting in the natural daylight. You can see the helipad with a helicopter parked right there. Massive leather.
Whoever's near me, I'm just going to lean over and say, I assume there's a second level to his bat cave.
Sitting in a massive high-backed leather chair, you know, one of those red leather ones that kind of come out, you know, to the side. You can tell it's a computer chair, but it's a ridiculous computer chair. No computer chair should ever be that amount of money.
Is he facing out the window away from the group and then he swivels and
Of course. Of course. This is
I've been expecting you.
He doesn't say that though.
Oh, does he have a cat?
No, there's no cat on the premises, at least that you can see. As he does turn to face everybody. Good, everybody is here. This is all of the HR department, Miss Patel. She quickly nods her head. Alright, so... It was either I talked to you or the eggheads talked to you, and I figured I would talk to you. Let's start off with... No, nobody's getting laid off. Start with that. Now, the reason I bring you up here is because you're going to be handling certain requests in the very near future. Mostly sick time leaves. There are certain things we're going to have to start dealing with, and we need to deal with in a particular manner. We are currently not using a few of our floors. 63 through 74, if I'm not mistaken. It's at this point, he goes, anybody that has anything against breaking the law, raise your hand at this moment in time. A few hands do go up. Does Praxis's hand go up?
No.
Turn in your key cards at this moment.
So I was going to say, I imagine a few of his background checks are less than reputable as is.
There's a lot of confusion. One of them speaks up. I'm sorry. What? You're fired. Miss Patel kind of turns around and goes, I'm sorry, but if they're being fired and they're turning in their key cards right now, how are they supposed to use the elevator? Singe kind of stops, pauses for a moment, and goes, they won't be needing the elevator.
Up the window with ye.
Literally pulls out a pistol and shoots one right in the head.
Oh, well. Are you all huddled together?
I'm not even going to make this guy roll for this shot. This is dead center square. Specifically the one that asked a question is the one that gets dead center right between the eyes. We're at a point now where loose ends cannot exist. That's how dangerous of waters we tread. Obviously, I'm not... Everybody here is absolutely panicked because murder has just been committed.
I will go along with that. It's...
Now, everybody, calm down. Unless you're going to do something incredibly stupid and ask stupid questions, you don't have to worry about bullets being put into the head. I'm sure Mrs. Patel will lead you back down to the ground floor. Unless Miss Patel wants to ask another stupid question, and then I'm gonna have to promote somebody in the company very quickly. Miss Patel immediately stops whatever she's doing and shuts the hell up. So, anybody that now fails the mandatory check that we have put into place is no longer allowed to leave the building. They will now live, eat, and sleep on the renovation floors. We'll bring in cots or something. It won't be that big of a deal. It's not going to be comfortable, but certain precautions need to be taken as certain things have come to light. Any non-stupid questions? As one person goes, are we gonna live? Which is responded with another fire from the gun. Not you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
You mentioned this would all be pertinent to sick leave. Are there things that we should be looking out for?
Nothing visible at this time. Unfortunately, this disease is showing no outward symptoms, but is still transmittable. We are looking into that, but we are able to do a blood test and determine that it is in the blood. Or it is in the system, I should say. I don't know the technical mumbo jumbo. So we are conducting daily blood sample tests.
Will the sick leave be coming from advisory boards or from the individuals?
Individuals. Well, our individuals, not the person that is is ill. We will be making these recommendations. They will be given a special key card that has no access to the first floor, the basement, or the second basement. If they, or probably any of the lower floors now that I'm thinking about it, if they choose to jump from one of the higher floors, then, well, that's on them. Now, that being said, we are all family here at DevaCorp. And this is unfortunately unpleasant family business that we're having to deal with. That being said, please do note that if anything leaves this room, well, we have ways of making sure that if they leave this room, you may leave this room, but you're not going to exist on the outside for very long. Rabid dogs tend to be taken down rather quickly. any other questions? See, not everybody that asks questions gets shot, just as long as they are somewhat articulated and thought out, and kind of gestures towards Praxis / Daresh. I'm a reasonable man, I think. Matter of fact, when hasn't everybody returned to work? Those of you that have just been fired, Miss Patel will show you on the way out. And he gestures for everybody to leave to the elevator. Except you. Points at Daresh. We're gonna have a chat. Everybody else, lovely speaking with you. As everybody piles into the elevator again, Mr. Singe stands up from his desk. I've looked into your personal history. There's some unsavoriness in there. Anything you would like to discuss with me at this time?
Sometimes I believe it's better to be unsavory for the benefit of something greater.
I actually couldn't agree more. I don't think Miss Patel has the stomach for what we're about ready for. Some would say atrocities. I would say necessary evils. How would you like a little bit of a promotion?
I'm interested.
I can't fire Miss Patel. She's somewhat of a... She has done nothing to earn being fired, as it were. However, I don't know if she's the right person to have in this position at this time. So, I will be demoting her into your position, and you will be promoted into her position. Obviously, that's going to cause a little bit of chafing, as these type of things do. However, you are allowed to deal with that as you see fit. Well, looks down at the bodies, maybe not to the extremes that I have went to.
I feel there's a caveat. Additional duties.
As stated, I don't think that she has the stomach for some of the violations that we're going to have. Most of these are in the human rights area, you know. Keeping people on the premises, not allowing them to leave, not allowing them to seek outside medical attention. There might also be some minor laboratory experiments. I won't. The less you know in certain circumstances, the better, would you say?
Of course.
The additional duties are obviously making sure personnel don't catch wind, making sure if certain rumors start to prop up, they are dealt with in particular manners, whether that be through extrication of problematic individuals or certain things turn up in their ongoing background checks that cause Blackfire to take an interest. If we can offload some of those to Blackfire, hey, why not? They've got the personnel, right?
Of course.
Any other questions?
None that spring to mind.
Alright, so I will make the necessary calls to get your keycard updated, to get her keycard downgraded. One of the things, and he pauses for a moment, that I need you to do, however. You're gonna take an elevator ride with me. We're gonna go down a couple of floors. I want to show you one of the most important things we have here at Devacorp. And with that, he swipes his key card, calls the elevator back up, gestures for you to hop into the elevator.
I'll step in.
He steps in after you, and we're gonna switch to Kant.
Okay.
Kant, what has your day been consisting of?
I am going to try to keep, I don't want to say building a net. I want to get more people aware of me, aware that, that I want to help with this project, like I'm trying to be, the good employee, trying to make sure that everything's in order. Unfortunately, my current job is really not going to be very conductive to actually determining what's going on in this company.
If only you had maybe a friend that was head of HR department.
Well, guess what? The timeline has not caught up yet, okay? So, we... no, admittedly, but while I want to keep expanding the network of human contacts, Kant is a little concerned and curious about what the angels are doing, to be completely honest. So he's probably just going to be trying to hunt down more of them as soon as they sneak off their floor, and will actually harass them for information this time, if he can catch them. If not, whatever.
Give me that roll, because this is what, people you know or something like that?
Yeah, the embed. What is the roll? I rolled it. Where again? Where it? With sympathy. It's not a beautiful roll, but whatever.
One success. Are you really saying you want to find an angel with this?
Again?
I know that the disease samples are here. That is my character's goal, is to figure out where they are, what they're doing with them, and how to get them out of this company. Just because that's kind of the schemes I have with the professor at the moment. The only contact that I know I could probably harass an information out of is either Chiron or one of the angels dealing with all the archive information. Now, Chiron could call into question my legitimacy with the company. The angel calls into legitimacy of my cover, but I have ways to potentially get around the angels. So see, this is what I kind of want to do, but I feel like it's too reckless for 3 more sessions of game.
All right, well, you've got 1 success, so you're attempting to find an angel.
I am attempting to find an angel.
What floor are you on? Just out of curiosity.
Well,
You have access to a few different floors, so...
ideally, I mean, probably Chiron, lobby, maybe. That's my initial suspicion of where the main work is being done. So if there are any angels passing through, picking up data to file into their textbooks on the 61st floor, maybe they pass through the lobby. I don't know. Maybe they'll just stand in the elevator.
So, I actually have... What is this embed called again?
Special someone.
Because I actually have a specific question I need to look at it. That I need to look. To see how it works in this situation.
Presumably I can just roam around until I find one. Because one of the examples, a demon planning to break into a building might try to find the laziest or least perceptive guards. So theoretically, it doesn't have to be in visual sight of you at the exact second of using it. I don't know.
As you don't find anybody on Chiron's floor. Not even a single person. However,
nobody at all, or
nobody matching your special someone.
4 empty.
Riding your elevator, you do eventually come across somebody in a lab coat. As you go to whatever floor it is that you want to go to, they swipe their card after yours, or she swipes her card after yours, and hits the 42nd floor, knowing well that hers will complete after yours. She is roughly about 5'8", relatively attractive, if not a bit plain looking. One of those that you would assume she's quite gorgeous if she does herself up, but she's at work and doesn't see the need to do so, or at least from her lab coat, maybe that type of stuff would be problematic in her chosen field. Outside of that, the most notable quality is extremely frizzy red hair.
Do I know what the 42nd floor is? I just have it written as unlisted, but I don't know if this is something that I should know.
No, it is a floor, though, that is, as you stated, it's not listed. So it's all... Any floor that's not listed is always suspect to things, as you've learned, I'm sure.
Yeah. I probably don't have a whole lot of time here, do I?
Well, you were on Chiron's floor. Chiron's on the 75th floor. I mean, depending on what floor you were heading to, you might have quite a bit of time.
Okay. Alright. So... I am gonna try to use Muse here to Muse essentially implanting an idea of something like an inspiration idea, etc. In their head. It doesn't force them to do anything, but if I theoretically, try to convince them to act on it, it should be easier. However, the dice pool is subtracted by resolve, and considering they are likely not human, this isn't going to work very efficiently because it'll be minus by resistance.
Okay.
But I don't know that, and for all I know, they could just be a human. But I'm going to try to activate it anyways. Manipulation, expression, minus resolve.
Minus resolve?
Minus resolve. Which is why this is probably not going to work.
And resolve. See, I'm counting.
Minus
More than
11.
five. Minus what?
11.
11. Oh. Man, if they were like a low rank demon, I might have had low rank angel, I might have had a chance.
Burning willpower? Or does it even matter?
It wouldn't matter. My dice pool is 7. Which is not a bad dice pool, but...
Chance die time.
Yeah. What happens if I...
You're like, what's a dramatic failure in this situation? Because it might actually matter here.
The demon drains every bit of creative and independent thought from the victim, but not the desire to create. What? Every thought in the target. You know what? Maybe I'll succeed. Why am I have hope.
You might.
I almost. I rolled a 9. I almost.
So close.
So, on that little bit of a stalled plan, we're going to move to Maven. So, as stated, it's been, I would say I'm going to go ahead and say it has been a couple of days, officially.
Okay.
So, all these actions are happening a couple of days after the meeting. You haven't been, in the time frame between now and then, you haven't been called to do your special job.
Okay.
So you can tell it's not going to be an everyday thing.
They want to keep some distance time.
Yeah.
Don't want to hit it every day. That makes sense. Okay. Well, unless they have something.
They have you on the higher security floors. They do have you monitoring some of the cameras as well. Occasionally, when one of the camera people go on break, they'll occasionally pull you over to the side and be like, hey, watch these cameras.
Lazy people.
So, this is when I get to finally tell you. There are cameras on the question mark floors that Kant is attempting to look at.
Oh, question mark floors. Those being which ones again?
Those are listed as floors. I've lost them. 48 through 50 and 41 through 45. 48 through 50 look to be storage units. Storage areas. However, the level of security on the floor, you see ceiling mounted turrets.
Oh my.
It looks like anybody unauthorized that is detected is,
God on sight.
yeah. Everything seems to be automatic there.
There are no guards.
Yep, it's all automatic. And even, like, it seems like there are computer systems on that floor that tell a crane, several different crane arms, this thing puts it on a conveyor belt, which leads it to what looks to be like a miniature supply elevator.
Fully automated storage area with ceiling mounted turrets. What the hell is in there?
And the lower floors,
For
40
floors?
41 through 45. Lower than the ones that I just mentioned.
Oh, I had those listed as 48 to 50. Was that wrong?
The
Oh,
ones,
yeah. My math is wrong. Go ahead.
yeah,
Counting.
41 through 45 are completely sterile white rooms with only equipment visible. You occasionally see movement. You assume that the people there are wearing sterile white, so they're kind of blending in with the background. But you know a lab when you see one.
Mm. And the things that aren't white, because there's got to be some things that aren't white if they're doing lab work.
Yeah, it's lab equipment.
Okay.
Microscopes, vials, sometimes various liquids in the vials. A lot of red liquid.
Any blobs?
Not that you can see.
Okay. A lot of red liquid. Likely blood? Doing blood work? If this is a couple of days after, maybe.
And these are, as stated, it's 4 floors of this. Right.
4 floors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can tell it's a research lab. There's no question what these 4 floors are. Each
Okay.
floor, the only area of these floors that is not white are what you would assume are decontamination chambers. However, you just have images of the door. You don't have images of what's actually in the room. You're assuming that that's probably because they are instructed to strip, etc. So, you know.
Privacy.
Yeah.
Really? Privacy here?
Is that what your character... Is that what Maven says aloud?
He kind of mumbles it. If there's another guard there present, kind of making a joke, really. They're concerned about privacy.
Yeah. I mean, you have cameras on the front, on the entry, and on the exit. I mean, it's not like they can really sneak anything in or out. But, I mean, we have to at least maintain a certain level of, you know, not making it overtly obvious that we're literally watching every single thing everybody does at any given moment.
Just any given moment except right there.
And the bathrooms, I mean,
Oh,
it's illegal still.
illegal. Chuckles again.
Didn't think that was a problem.
Oh, why do you think we have certain individuals that seem to constantly have to go pee? We still check those locations, but like...
I see.
more
That
of a
makes sense.
physical check. You wouldn't believe the amount of personnel we have just doing that on like every floor, just going to the bathroom constantly. It's stupid.
It does seem quite excessive. I heard rumors you guys had like some breaches recently. Is that what all the hubbub is about?
Wasn't on our watch, thankfully. It was completely on DevaCorp's watch. It was due to... Well, DevaCorp has some internal systems that they want to keep private, and unfortunately that's what led to the breach. We're not supposed to talk about it. Once again, not on our watch, not our problem.
Of course. Leave it to the white lab coats to screw it up, right?
Isn't that the way of the world? Eggheads are the cause of 90% of our problems.
We gotta fix it. If that's... Well, mine is not necessarily lab coats. Mine is just people that think they're lab coats and they don't know a damn about electronics.
He kind of sighs as you can tell he's looking specifically at, like, the legal department area. You see him hitting the forward key on his computer as it flicks up to the next floor, which is the visitor viewing area. Skips the 61st floor, and then now he's looking at Ganaducci firearms. And he goes, they do bring in some interesting weapons on this floor, I will say that.
Oh, what do they got? Like video game kind of stuff? They got railguns?
I don't know about railguns, but he points specifically at the camera that you viewed with the turret. That's one of theirs.
Was wondering, like, I've seen, my fair share of, guns online, whatever they can release, but I have never seen anything like that. That's like some straight sci-fi type stuff there.
From my understanding, it's thermal based. If anything above a certain temperature, it reacts. That room is cold, from what I've heard. But never been there. Nobody I know has really been there. Speculation.
Doesn't look very inviting to me. Especially if it's supposed to be cold. I don't deal well with the cold.
Makes me wonder if one of the machines in there started heating up. I mean, that would be the quickest way to figure it out. Cause a machine to overheat and then see if it reacts to it. That's how I would test it, but we're not allowed to do that type of stuff.
Well, yeah, that would kind of defeat the purpose of it being so high security, right?
One of the officers moves by and he kind of clams up, just like, oh, back to work, boss is here type deal.
I know the look. I'll follow suit. Click, click, click.
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Demon the Descend, Frayed Wires, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener, and if you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, what does one do if the slaver is the key to one's survival?